Hello everyone. It is Coach Steph. I'm going to go live also on Instagram. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Coach Steph. I am live on Instagram. I never show y'all any love. I never go live on Instagram. If you don't know me, I'm Coach Steph. I'm a registered dietitian, personal trainer, and a mindset transformation coach. I'm going to talk about healthy snacking today. I get this question a lot. What should I be eating during snack time? Should I even snack if I'm trying to lose fat? I'm going to break it down today. I'm going to give you some really tangible tips. So if you are a note taker, now is the time to take out your notes. When I teach, I'm going to give you things that you can actually do starting today. If you like that kind of thing, you should definitely listen to my podcast. It's called the Fit Figure Formula Podcast. If you haven't checked it out, if you're a podcast listener, you can check it out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, I think. I can't remember if it's on Audible, but I know it's on like the Amazon audio. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can check out the Fit Figure Formula Podcast. And there I also break down how to get a fit mindset and a fit body. So if you are watching, say hello real quick. It never fails. As soon as I start talking, I got a frog in my throat. But I want to talk about healthy snacking. So are you on a weight loss journey? If you're on a weight loss journey, type yes in the chat. If you're on a weight loss journey, you're in the right place. So I am a dietitian and a weight loss mindset coach. And what that means is that I help female perfectionists who typically overthink, who are maybe self-critical, who are trying to do all or nothing. I help you guys get a fit mindset, because that is really the main thing. Because you guys know you can get a meal plan from anywhere, right? There's like ChatGPT, it can tell you exactly what to do. It's not so much of a lack of what to do. It's more of like, how can I get myself to do this consistently? And this is called the knowing doing gap. Closing what I know to do, closing the gap between what I know to do and actually doing it on a consistent basis is going to help you get the results that you need. So if you're not already in my Facebook group, highly recommend, if you're on Instagram watching, heading to the link in my bio and joining the Facebook group, because I did go live yesterday as well, and I gave tips on how to set goals, because sometimes we're not setting goals properly and we wonder why we don't see the results each year. And then the one previous to that was like 3 things that you want to stop doing if you want to lose weight and keep it off. So those are really great lives. If you want to check those out, go to my Facebook group, Weight Loss for Female Perfectionists. Okay. So again, if you are watching the replay, hashtag replay in the comments, I'm going to head to my notes so that I can give you guys this content. I think I also have a podcast episode about healthy snacking, but it's been a minute since I talked about this. So if you have questions, put it in the chat. I would love to answer any of your questions that you might have. So you guys, I think there's kind of like a misconception sometimes that like you shouldn't be snacking if you are trying to lose weight. So I will ask people sometimes like, well, what do you think is keeping you from your goal? What is keeping you stuck? And they're like, oh, well, I snack all the time. And I'm like, snacking actually, if you do it in the right way, can actually help keep you in your calorie deficit instead of putting you outside your calorie deficit. But we have to be strategic. And this is what I help my clients do inside the Fit Figure Formula. The Fit Figure Formula, so I have the podcast and I have the Fit Figure Formula coaching program. This is my 16-week program where I coach you every single day for 16 weeks. Like, I'm literally in your back pocket. I have my own coaching app, and I am going to help you get fit mind and body. I give you the formula framework that is going to help you color in the lines. It's really important in order to make this a lifestyle for you to be able to take what you like, the foods that you want to eat, instead of just eating brown rice because you think brown rice is healthy, and making this a lifestyle. That's what's going to make it stick. So when you join my program, not only are you going to lose weight, lose inches, lower your A1C, get off your blood pressure medication, like I've had clients do that, but you're also going to actually understand what to do after you graduate. And that is really, really important. So it's not that snacking is necessarily a problem. It's more so like, what are you actually eating? How balanced is that snack? And are you planning out your meal? So, number one, um, you should be planning your meals, right? Like, if we want to be intentional about fat loss, we cannot just rely on your workouts. And this is what I said yesterday in the live, that if you want to be serious about fat loss, you can't just rely on your workouts. You have to actually understand your nutrition if you want to keep it off. Because I've had clients who do like Weight Watchers or something like that, and they're counting points. But then after they get off Weight Watchers, they're no longer counting points. They still don't understand their actual food. Or people who are like, I'm doing intermittent fasting. That's fine, but what are you actually eating when you do eat? Like, you can't just cut out a mealtime and that doesn't actually fix the problem, because are you getting enough protein during your eating window? Like, are you getting enough fiber? Like, there's more things to it than just like being in a calorie deficit. So, number one tip, plan your meals. So many times I ask potential clients, like, what is your system? What is your system for planning your meals each week? When you go to the grocery store, how do you know what to buy? How do you know? You just go in there to start picking up stuff, and then throughout the week, no wonder you have no idea what to put on the stove, because nothing really goes together because you didn't really make a plan. You just kind of like bought some stuff. So this planning doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to eat the same thing every day. That's also a misconception about like meal prepping. They're like, oh, you have to eat the same thing every day. I teach you a framework inside the formula on how you can rotate your meals but still keep consistent instead of burning out. I actually outline that on another podcast episode too. It's not a secret, but I'm not going to be going over that today. However, when we plan our meals, things don't have to be fancy. They need to be simple. So if you're just starting, right, this is January 2nd, if you're just starting out and you feel overwhelmed with the nutrition part, because a lot of times it's just easy just to work out. But if you feel overwhelmed with the nutrition part, just start with your snacks. That's like the easiest way to get started, is plan what snacks are you going to have. Now, from my experience of coaching my ladies inside the formula, I have coached hundreds of ladies at this point, and I would say they need 3 meals and 1 snack in order to feel full, satisfied, and hit their protein and fiber goals. That's really important. So that would be my suggestion to you. 3 meals and 1 snack. A lot of y'all are not eating breakfast, I know. But especially for ladies who are just going through the Starbucks line in the morning and then you're starving in the evening, this is one of the reasons why. So you want to plan out your meals. You want to make it simple. You want to start with things that you already know how to make. You don't want to go into Pinterest and find 5 new recipes to try this week. That's not what we're doing, okay? So I want you to start. And even if you don't cook the healthiest, just start by taking those same meals that you know how to make and make the portion smaller, right? Like, baby step your way. Because the smaller the action step, the more sustainable it's going to be, okay? So it doesn't have to be fancy. I have my clients eat around no more than like 4 to 5 hours out, because after we start getting super hungry, our brain starts to not want our meal prep. It doesn't want the healthy food. It wants something salty, sweet, fatty, highly palatable. And we want to make sure that when it's time to eat, like, we're starting to feel that hunger, but we don't want to be super hungry. So eating every few hours, maybe every 3 to 4 hours, and then placing your snacks strategically where you normally get hungry. So if you're the type of person, like, after lunch, in between lunch and dinner on your way home, you are ravenous and you just like, ooh, I have to stop yourself from stopping by McDonald's to get food, that's where you want to place your snack. So you want to have this relationship with yourself, and you want to be thinking, where am I naturally getting hungry? Like, what time of day do I actually need some energy? And I promise you, for those of you who don't eat breakfast, when you do start eating breakfast, you'll stop getting so hungry in the evening. You're going to have less sugar cravings in the evenings. If you really pack your first meal of the day and like scoot your calories up throughout the day, pack it with protein, pack it with fiber and water, Okay, so we want to plan your meals. You want to be eating 3 or 4 hours apart, and then placing your snacks strategically where you normally get hungry. Okay. Um, so whenever you plan your meals, what I don't want you to do is plan, eat what you plan, and then throw that plan in the trash. That's not what we want to do. Why is that? Because I want to save that. What I help my clients do in the formula, in a different capacity, but this is still the same concept of, if I plan a meal or a day's worth of meal or a week's worth of meal, I'm not throwing that away. I'm going to save that so that I can build a system for myself. I want to build a system, right? Because systems will keep you going and keep you consistent versus every week you're starting from scratch. We're not eating vastly different foods from week to week to week to week to week. And a 4 or 5 week cycle, you're probably eating some of the same things. So when you plan, keep that. I have a binder in my kitchen. Keep the plans that you make so that when you don't feel like planning, you can go to what you've already planned and you can use that again. Okay. So that is a hack in and of itself, because I know that we resist planning. All right. We don't do it because we're like, oh, I have to sit down and plan and think and slow down. And we don't like to slow down now, right? We don't like to slow down. So make it easier on yourself. When you do plan, save the plan. If you do that 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, you have a 4-week cycle menu that you can just rotate. And then if you get bored about something, just change one thing and it becomes a new menu. Okay. So that's just tip number 1. Okay. That was a lot in one, but that was tip number 1. I have a ton, right? If you guys have questions specifically, put them in the chat. On Facebook, I should be able to see the comments. I never go live on Instagram, so if somebody says hello to me, I'll see if I can see the comments, or if you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. Okay, so then number 2 is eat balanced meals. So what does this mean? So snacks are historically low protein. So this is what I see with my clients. It's like you're having an apple, or you're having some chips, or you might have a handful of nuts or something, but there's not enough protein. So really, a lot of my clients need 30 grams of protein per meal and snack. And the 2 meals that y'all are falling short is typically, hey, okay, good. How are you? Thank you for commenting. Our breakfast and snacks. Okay. So when you have your snack, there's nothing wrong with having a pear or having fruit. Fruit, I think, is a great snack option. It's usually grab and go. Helps you hit your fiber goal. It's a whole single ingredient food, but also pair that with some protein. Now, we just finished the holidays, and I was telling my clients this as well, make sure that if you're going to have something sweet, right? This is a rule that you can make for yourself that you can apply even in and out of the holidays. But anytime you eat something sweet, any kind of carbohydrate, you always want to pair it with a protein. So this could look like, in terms of a snack, it could look like having some beef jerky with your fruit. So I personally like Strive beef jerky. It's shredded. It's not the stick. I just personally don't like the sticks as much. And the Strive shredded ones have 16 grams of protein per ounce. Okay. So it's packed with protein. You could also do a tuna salad sandwich, chicken salad, egg salad, right? You can have that with crackers or on bread. You can have carbs, guys, right? My rule for my clients is 3 grams of fiber or more per serving if you have a carbohydrate that has a label on it, okay? So I told y'all, if y'all are not used to watching my lives, I'm dropping nuggets, so make sure y'all are writing these down. Okay, so you want to have a balanced meal. So you want to keep it simple. You want to start with just single ingredient foods, right? Like apple. Make sure you pair that with a protein, and you can throw some fat in there too. I have been loving Ratio Greek yogurt, y'all. It's so good. It has 25 grams of protein per container. So I'll have that and a piece of fruit or something like that. And that's going to help you hit your protein goals at the end of the day, okay? Because if you're tracking, which is what tracking sucks, I teach my clients how to pre-plan their meals so that they don't have to track every day, so they can hit their goals. Because you're doing all that work and you're not hitting your numbers anyway, and that's kind of frustrating. So we want to have a balanced snack as well. So you want to think about your food in terms of components. So number 3, so this is tip number 3, make sure you enjoy your meals and your snacks. Are you a sweet, salty, crunchy, savory person? Plan those in. If you're a chip girl, have some chips, right? So depending on where you're at with your macros throughout the rest of the day, you could have some regular chips, but you can also have Quest protein chips that have like 19 or 20 grams of protein per bag, right? And then pair that with an apple, right? Like, so make sure, number one, you have a protein, but also you are catering to your own personal preferences. Do you have a list of snacks that you like that are like your go-to snacks? I highly recommend creating that list. Because when you know, like, hey, here's a list of 10 things that I really, really enjoy, and maybe even like combinations of snacks that I can go to when I'm at home, when I'm at work, when I'm traveling, right? Like, knowing those things is going to be super helpful to keep you on track. So don't be overwhelmed by trying to do Pinterest pretty meal prep every week. If you're starting or restarting, just start with snacks, bagging that up. That's going to make you feel like, oh, I have some momentum, right? It makes you feel good to be able to like check that box off, right? And you only need a few options each week, and you can rotate those. Okay, so make sure you actually enjoy your meals and snacks. And for my clients, once they hit their protein goal and their fiber goal, and they have some room left over for calories, they can plan in a treat, right? So you don't have to wait for a treat day or a cheat meal or a cheat day. You don't have to wait. When you know your macros, like I teach my clients in the Fit Figure formula, you can have a treat because you can clearly see the numbers. It helps you to feel so much more in control of your plate and of your food because you can see like, okay, I'm going to hit my numbers today, or no, I'm not. Okay. And I help you do this. Again, I help you build a system so that you're not starting over from scratch every time you sit down to plan. Okay. So let me recap. So we have number 1, make sure you plan your meals. There was a lot of nuggets in that. If you're just joining, go back and watch the replay because I dropped a lot of nuggets here. Okay, so then number 2 was eating balanced meals, and I talked about what that means, making sure you have some protein. If you have a carb, make sure it has 3 grams of fiber or more, adding some healthy fat like nuts and things like that. And then also number 3 was making sure that you actually like what you eat. One of the reasons why we go off the rails and we don't, we're not consistent is because we think we have to eat like food that we really don't like, and then when you see a cupcake, you're like, you go overboard, and then you're like, screw it. So make sure you add in things that you like and treats sometimes. And then the 4th tip is being mindful. Okay, so asking yourself these questions: am I really hungry or am I bored? Again, you shouldn't be winging this because we're planning our meals, right? I give my clients 3 ways to plan. If you're the type of person where you're like, I just want to plan one time for the rest of the week, great. If you're the type of person where I don't know what I'm going to want to eat in a week from now, I can split that up and I can plan maybe on a Saturday and a Wednesday for 3 days at a time. Or if I really just don't know, if you don't like to like make that commitment, okay, fine. The night before, plan every night before. Okay, so there's options, right? There's not just one way to do it. So you should have a plan. Number 1, you should be strategically placing your snacks wherever you get hungry. And then if you start to find yourself getting hungry outside of those times, you're going to ask yourself, am I getting hungry or am I bored? Am I emotional? When's the last time I ate? Because sometimes we're emotional and you've taken too long to eat, and then your brain really just goes wild and doesn't want to eat what you've planned, but it's only because you waited too long to eat and maybe you're like really stressed or something like that. Have you had enough water? Are you focusing on what you can't have versus what you can have? So in diet culture, there's a lot of emphasis on what I can't have or what I shouldn't have or taking things away. Inside of the formula, we actually focus on what can I have? And look at all the things that I can have that are nourishing, that make me feel really good. And I promise you, do that for a few weeks. And then you go back to your fast food or the thing that you think that you really like, and it doesn't even sit well in your stomach anymore. You're like, ugh, I feel gross when I eat that now, right? You become like bougie. So making sure that you're focused on what you can have, because there's a lot of things that you can have. And really, there's nothing that's off limits. It's more so like, do you understand how to plan it in? So what's the narrative in your head around snacks? Do you feel like I shouldn't have any snacks? There's a lot of like rules like don't eat after 8. I don't follow any of those rules. I do think that a lot of my clients, again, who don't eat breakfast end up being really hungry at night. And that's why you're bringing up this rule of like don't eat after 8. But I promise you, if you eat earlier in the day, you actually might find that you're getting hungrier throughout the day, but you won't have like super strong cravings in the evening. And inside of the formula, my clients are fed. They are not starving themselves. We're eating enough protein. And if you eat enough single ingredient foods and enough protein and get enough water, you will not be hungry throughout the day. So my clients are actually asking me, please do not increase my calories. And so if you're a woman over 40 as well, you don't need to be in a super low calorie diet because that's just creating more stress. So I hope these tips were helpful. If you have questions, let me know. Again, if you want to join the Fit Figure Formula, you can head to the link in my bio, or you can just comment formula if you're watching, and I'll send you the link to apply. If you want to learn more about me, my DMs are open, number one. You can always message me. The Fit Figure Formula podcast is a great way to like learn and understand my philosophy, hear some client testimonials if you're kind of new to me and you're just now hearing some of my content. But if you're joining the Fit Figure Formula before January 15th, you're getting an extra month with me. So instead of 16 weeks, it'll be 20 weeks of coaching. We meet, you have 2 opportunities to get coached every week, which is Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. CST. All the calls are recorded. In between calls, you get support. You get a community and accountability, mindset coaching, especially for my ladies who are on a self-love journey. This is a great time to start. Y'all see my calendar. Well, y'all, Instagram might not see it, but Facebook, you see my calendar in the back. Like I'm already starting to plan and think about my goals. Again, I did a live about goals last night. And so you may have some personal goals like I want to accept myself more. I want to love myself more. I want to talk nicer to myself. Like I want to feel better. I want to stop people pleasing. I want to set more boundaries. I want to like go on a glow up journey, right? So if you have those types of goals, this program is perfect for you because we're not just talking about macros and numbers. Like, yes, I'm going to give you all that. You're going to be totally proficient in that. But also we're going to talk about the mental and emotional weight that comes with dieting all your life, right? And understanding and creating some new rules for this new version of yourself, the best version of yourself. So I want ladies to apply who are trying to be the best version of themselves from the inside out, and you need help and you need support from somebody who actually cares about my clients and not just the scale or not just like before and after photos. Those are great. I have a ton of testimonials, y'all. If you're on Instagram or even Facebook, you can go over to my Instagram. I think my handle is Stephanie Ross Dietitian. In the highlights area, you can go to client wins, and I mean, I have a lot of client testimonials, y'all. So the formula definitely works, especially for those of you who are over 40 like me. Things start to get a little iffy, start to change a little bit, but most of my clients are 40 plus. Like 98% of my clients are 40 plus. So all those testimonials came from ladies who are just like you, who are trying to figure it out and who need nutrition support. Don't think that you can just work out harder, y'all. Not after 40, and it's just not even a good like relationship with food and fitness to just try to work out harder. What we avoid is disciplining your nutrition. And discipline doesn't mean restriction. It doesn't mean that like I have to stay away from my favorite foods and I can't have happy hour and I can't like live my life. No, I'm going to teach you how to do this strategically. My clients travel. My clients, are busy moms. There are some of them are retired. Some of them, work 2 jobs. Like it runs the gamut. This is a lifestyle transformation program. It is not a get skinny quick program, but especially if you have weight loss goals, if you have A1C goals, like for you guys that are pre-diabetic or diabetic, you get a registered dietitian in your back pocket for the next 16 weeks. So, yeah, if you guys have questions, let me know. I hope this was helpful. I am going to be back. I'm planning to be back tomorrow. What do you want to hear about? If you guys ask questions, I might do a live from that topic. So, all right. Thanks for watching, ladies, and I'll see you on the next one.